Hold on to your capes, because Thor Ragnarok is landing in theaters this November. It's been nearly 4 years since Thor's last solo adventure. A lot has changed. Odin's son has a new enemy in Asgard. We don't know much about her yet. What we do know is this: Hela has a slew of incredible powers that we need to unpack right now.
Your time in the land of the living is long past.
Travel in astral form. For Hela, there are 2 ways that she can travel. She can take her physical body and travel like any other Asgardian throughout the 9 realms. Or, unlike the rest of her kin, she can project into an astral form. Astral projection is when a person can eject the spiritual body and travel the non-physical planes. In this form, Hela is still able to retain her mind and personality. Hela will also possess the same powers of death that she has in her physical form. Because of her increased Asgardian metabolism, she has near limitless astral projection abilities. Mortals or mutants who use astral projection do not have that luxury. Other notable members of the Marvel comic book community who can astral project are Professor Charles Xavier, Jean Grey, and Emma Frost. It'll be interesting to see how astral projection is handled with Hela in Thor Ragnarok. Until the release of Doctor Strange in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, mystical powers were not touched upon. In fact, the Sorcerer Supreme and the Ancient One were the first characters we saw project into their astral form on screen.
He looks alright to me.
Will Hela be next? She would be joining the elite ranks in the MCU of characters who wield this power, giving her a major advantage over her Asgardian opponents.
Who is the strongest? Like you and your brother Loki, I hunger for competition.
Death Touch. Hela's most famous power is known as her Touch of Death. You didn't hear us incorrectly. Her touch can stop life in an instant. Hela is known as the Asgardian Goddess of Death. When she was old enough, Odin himself appointed her this goddess. She has a specific territory though, and it isn't Asgard. Hela rules over 2 of the 9 specific realms, Hel and Niflheim. What she craves and what often motivates her to conflict with Thor, Odin, and Asgard is to rule the dead in Valhalla. That is where the spirits of Asgard's dead dwell. In the palm of her hand, she can decide life or death for the gods of Asgard. This is a very powerful ability that can literally decimate an entire race. She has a pact with death that allows her this ability. Ordinarily, she is supposed to wait until an Asgardian is on the verge of death before touching them. Or if they've died, take their spirit after their body has ceased functioning. Don't let your guard down too long though and think that you're safe. Hela can touch a normal, healthy Asgardian and take their life instantly. If you're thinking, well, lucky I'm a human so she can't touch me, wrong. She can do the same to mortals, but rarely does.
I long for new entertainment. Now, back to the show.
Energy bolts. Although Hela possesses the basic attributes that all Asgardians are born with, her abilities are more powerful than her peers. In particular, she has a range of mystical powers that other Asgard individuals cannot tap into the way she can. One of the craziest powers she possesses is energy manipulation. She's able to channel the energy through her body and send it screaming towards an opponent out of her hands. These great bolts can do different levels of damage. Hela can shoot bolts out of her hands that can age an Asgardian. Is that a blow worse than death, perhaps? To one moment be a young warrior in his prime and the next to be decades older? If Hela killed you, then at least you had a chance of your spirit being taken. If she ages you, you're alive, knowing what she took away from you. Her most powerful energy blow is called the Hand of Glory. Even the strongest Asgardian wants to get out of the way when she turns her hand towards them. This energy blow will kill no matter what. One direct shot from her can kill an immortal, which was proven in Thor Wolves of the North Volume 1.
I play along with my father's games because it amuses me.
Advanced combat techniques. When you are the goddess of death in the 9 realms, can shoot energy bolts from your hands, and command entire armies of the dead, why would you ever fight? It seems to us that Hela could hang out at the back of the melee and wait it out until all the warriors have attacked one another. After all, when your touch literally could take life away from a god or mortal, wouldn't people be trying not to fight you? Why risk it? Hela is an insanely skilled fighter. She keeps it a secret as often as possible because her advanced abilities provide an element of surprise to her opponents. As you know, any surprise gives a fighter the advantage. When Hela does decide to fight, you know she means it. She's often cited as going up against Thor in a fighting scenario. She's been able to match him and at times best him during a fight. She's formidable in hand-to-hand combat and excels as a swordsman. Like Thor's Mjolnir, Hela has her own special weapon. She's armed with a sword she calls Night Sword. In the Thor Ragnarok trailers, it appears that she'll be using it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well to show off her skills.
A well-deserved reward.
Can command the army of the undead. When you're a queen, you must have an army to protect you and your land. Hela rules over Hell and Niflheim. The spirits who dwell in Hell are neither honored or dishonored. There isn't anything special about them. In Niflheim, the dishonored go there. Hela is often motivated by the desire to overtake the one realm she cannot rule over. That is Valhalla. Valhalla is where the honored dead go to dwell. It's nothing like Hela's worlds. It's a very important part of Asgard. You also need an army if you want to expand into new territories. Despite Hela's extraordinary abilities, she cannot do it alone. She can, however, tap into the abundance of resources that she has available in her realms, the undead. She can raise an entire army from the souls that she's taken with her. In Thor issue 362, Hela raised an army to stop Thor from leaving Hell. Since they're already dead, they're difficult to stop. As they go about taking lives, those spirits can also be taken by Hela and integrated into her army. In the Ragnarok trailers, we can see just how powerful and large her army can be when it comes thrashing into Asgard. This power is not easy to stop.
I grow tired of watching the remains of once great men fight and fall apart at my feet.
Regeneration. When you're born an Asgardian, you're afforded certain immediate abilities. It's like all citizens come with the basic starter pack of powers and then are able to add on to them from there. Hela is special compared to the average warrior in the 9 realms. Her abilities extend far beyond the basics and into the extraordinary. She's considerably beyond the abilities of many enhanced humans and terrestrial beings as well. When it comes to healing factor, Hela is astoundingly quick at being able to regenerate. This goes beyond having a durability like Thor. We're talking on the level of healing like Wolverine and the Incredible Hulk. Her body is not impervious to injury, though it is difficult to get close enough to wound her. After all, you have to get through her army of undead, past her energy bolts, and only then steer clear of her touch to land a blow. Hela's body is capable of healing at superhuman speed and with great efficiency. The healing also makes her immune to diseases and infections. Regeneration of her cells prolongs the aging process. She's always in top physical shape to be able to fight, which makes her one scary opponent.
Every Asgardian have a silly helmet.
Super strength. It may be easy to forget that Hela is by blood Asgardian, which means she's afforded the same superhuman abilities as her Asgardian kin, which includes increased speed and durability. Unlike some, though, she's also a goddess, which puts her on the level of Thor and Odin. Her mother, on the other hand, is often portrayed as being sorceress giantess Angerboda. This part of Hela's lineage relates to why she's taller and stronger than the average Asgardian. What makes her a terrifying opponent is her sheer strength. All Asgardians are strong, but Hela is beyond that. As the official Marvel Universe handbook highlights, Hela is so strong that she can endure hand-to-hand combat with Thor for prolonged periods of time. There aren't even Avengers or extra-dimensional beings who are capable of doing that. How much strength does she possess? She can lift well in excess of 100 tons over her own body. That puts her in a very elite category in the Marvel Universe. Who else occupies this powerful level? Juggernaut, the Incredible Hulk, and Thanos are all characters who have strength class 100 as well. Her strength, combined with her hand-to-hand combat and energy manipulation, makes her nearly unstoppable.
I am a queen of my word, trickster, but you go too far.
Destroy Mjolnir. With about a month left to the release of the 3rd Thor movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, audiences are poring over every new trailer release and teaser to get more information. Fans are pausing with every frame to glean as much insight as possible. From all the scrutinizing over Thor and Hulk, you could have easily missed one of the biggest revelations of all: Hela's ability to destroy Mjolnir. Yeah, you heard us right. Hela, with one hand, can crush Odin's son's hammer into 1,000,000 pieces. You see Thor throw the hammer, expecting Hela to either get out of the way or take a deadly blow. Instead, she seizes the weapon. When you look at her face, it appears she does so without an ounce of additional effort. She's holding it straight out in front of her. This doesn't look too hard for her at all. The hammer begins to shake as she applies force with the palm of her hand. She does so unblinking, always looking in the direction of Thor. Finally, we see that she's concentrated enough energy into her palm that bolts come out and tear Mjolnir apart. Her ability to destroy an enchanted weapon with a touch is truly one of the most terrifying powers in the multiverse.
Loki desires a throne.
It is my birthright.
Create illusions. This may come as a spoiler alert for MCU fans, but we need to talk about this important fact. Comic book fans already know that Hela is often portrayed as the daughter of Loki. We don't know if the upcoming Thor Ragnarok is going to deal with this possibility. It would add a whole new dynamic. Much like her father, she's a talented manipulator of mysticism and illusions. However, they do not have much more in common past this, and often do not get along with one another. Her powers, like Loki, extend into being being able to create elaborate illusions. The purposes for creating the illusions vary. She's been shown to use her creations to kill living Asgardians. She's supposed to wait for an Asgardian to die before she can collect her soul. Sometimes she doesn't want to wait, so she uses her illusions to speed up the process. In Hell, she can create illusions to both reward and punish the entities in her realm. Hela can make these illusions look so realistic to the seer that they cannot tell if the illusions are real or not. This really messes with the person when they finally realize it was all fake and it disappears.
I don't know who you are, miss, but I recommend you show me the way out.
Enchanted artifacts. If you look carefully, you'll see that Hela is often wearing a cloak. This isn't because it's all the rage in Asgard and all the goddesses are wearing them. It isn't even to keep her warm during the cold nights in Hell. The cloak, cowl, and iconic headdress she wears serves a much darker purpose for the character. Like Thor's mighty hammer, Hela has her own set of magical weapons. The garments she wears are mystical and take Hela's powers and amplify them to unstoppable levels. This means that Hela is able to use magical weapons in her fight to overthrow Asgard. Without the cloak, Hela would have a